Hello, everyone. Yes, this is not the first time I speak at YLD stuff. My very first talk, actually, very first public talk was in 2018 in New York at the DSL on top of the Freedom Tower. So just imagine the cold sweats that I had. Like, I was with people like GitHub, like, I still don't fully understand how that happened. But yeah, I've come a long way. Hopefully my talks now are a little bit less stuttery. So first of all, I understand that I'm not exactly a React person. I have in my days built a design system, so I fully understand where you all come from. But yeah, no, I'm not a developer. I'm more of a designer. I'm actually more in leadership now. And I'm talking to you about something that is not React.js related, but it's relatable. So hopefully you'll get something useful out of it. Further introduction, that is me. I still had hair. That was beautiful, beautiful December last year. And this is Miles. He's my bunny. He's my latest bunny, my fourth. Funny enough, Miles has told me a lot about inclusivity. Because bunnies are prey animals. So it's not the same as having a cat or a dog who are predators. With bunnies, you have to grow a completely different mindset where you need to make space for them to feel like they can trust you. The trust is not given. So I felt like it was topical, and also he's fucking cute. Sorry, I know I was supposed to swear. Right. Before we start, around here, think of the past week or so. Raise your hand if you've been involved in a conversation about remote working. Fair. What about, like, is it okay to have your camera off in Zoom meetings? Okay, so you're all experts of inclusivity in the workplace. Awesome. Now, I am purposefully not going to talk about company policy. Firstly, because it's way too depressing. We can talk about it at the pub later. But second, because it's not that useful. We usually don't have much control over those. What we do have control over is how we act and how we influence the people around us, our teams, our stakeholders, our managers, and colleagues. So let's start with the opposite of inclusivity. So this is kind of where I like to start when I talk to people that are not necessarily in the same super left-wing groups of LinkedIn that I'm in, which are a bit of an echo chamber these days, to be fair. When we think about inclusivity, let's flip it on its head. Let's think about excluding people, because we can all relate to that. We've all been excluded at some point. We all know that it sucks, that it's heartbreaking, it's unfair. We probably thought, what's wrong with me? Or if we love ourselves in the right way, we probably thought, what's wrong with them? At the very least, we've all been the kid that gets picked last in the lineup at soccer, basket, whatever it is. Thing is that when we're kids, that is still awful, but, you know, more or less it's just stupid children being stupid children, and we can survive that. We grow up and it gets better. But when we're adults, being excluded can threaten our livelihood. If we're not in the room or not in the conversation, in the group, in the clique, we don't get access to the same opportunities. We don't get access to the same learning, the exposure, the jobs. And I feel like the whole internet focuses a lot on let's fix this for recruitment so that people can get the jobs. That's super important. But it doesn't actually stop there. You might get into the job, but then you're in and you still don't get involved in the call that you should have been. The dynamics don't necessarily change. And this is where we want to talk more around mindset. What I particularly like to think about is what we have control over. And unfortunately, excluding, including, these are behaviors, and so everyone can do them. They're not necessarily always at the hands of managers or people in position of power. everyone can kind of exclude everyone, even unconsciously. Actually, most of the time, it happens not by accident, but without intention necessarily. It just happens. It's habits. It's human. Who knows what this is? Go. Yeah. Which one? Yes. Awesome. It came out last week. I haven't if I could not go to meetings to play this, I would. But also, what this actually is, sure, it's the character selection screen. But think about it. This is a team. This is a well-balanced team. It's a team of individuals that have unique strengths, unique abilities, and they're different, but they're complementary. They, if you have this entire team together, you can slay all of the demons in Sanctuary. That's the point. Sanctuary is the realm of Diablo 4, just to clarify. This concept is at the basis of every co-op game ever created. For good reasons. It's also at the base of most manager trainings and books about hiring successful teams. You need to have different abilities to mix and match so that they can compensate each other and elevate each other. It's definitely in every single diversity blog post that has ever been written. But when we think about it, these people, would they actually get along if they weren't piloted by a controller? Let's just imagine. So you've got individuals that come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different value systems, probably different languages, different neurotypes. I'm pretty sure the druid is autistic is my favorite, obviously. Yeah, these are people that by nature and nurture don't really have anything in common to collaborate with each other. The only thing that they have in common is that they're part of a team with the same task: to slay demons. And maybe they like vodka. They do look like they like vodka, but that's neither here nor there. So let's think about it this way. Obviously, I'm a druid. Like I said, they have pets. If it's like 5 p.m. and I haven't finished my task, my tickets is still open. I need to get someone to help me. Who do I pick? I want someone that will just kind of get it. I don't have a lot of time to explain. I want to go home. Who do I pick as a druid? To be honest, I would probably pick another druid if I could. It's not a smart thing. It's natural thing. Without any other druid, I would probably go with a barbarian. Don't like her too much, but feels like kindred spirit, more or less. And then what happens is, let's say that's successful. We smash the ticket. Next time it happens, I'm probably going to go to the barbarian again, because by that point, it's proven we work well together. We're a good team. They're familiar. Great. And then I do it again and again and again. And at that point, the necromancer, the rogue, and that other person in the middle that I didn't even bother screenshotting have been excluded from all of my conversations from this little team, this little clique that I formed, which is now an echo chamber that just repeats the same ideas to each other all the time. Fun. The thing is, we as humans do this. It's spontaneous. If we're woke, we're training ourselves not to do it because we recognize that that's not the smart thing to do. But by instinct, that's where we go to. It's not even something that we shouldn't necessarily be ashamed of per se. I'm very much a fan of take shame out of the question. It's just not good. We should recognize it. We should raise awareness. We should try to change. Because, yeah, me and my barbarian body, I mean, we might have fun for a while, but we're not really gonna do any groundbreaking work or super creative problem solvings after some time. And that kind of sucks. And it sucks for the others because they never even had the opportunity. So what can we do about it? That's the question. I want to share with you my absolute favorite tool of the moment. Yes, sorry, I went from a dark screen to a very light one. I didn't have a choice. It's a photo. Forgive me. So this map comes from a book called The Culture Map. I am not a big book reader, but this book is great. So I am actually reading it. And just FYI, it's on Blinkist. So you can get it there. I'll tell you a little bit about it. This book talks about how to do business globally and stuff like that. But this map takes different layers of communication, and it lays them out really, really neatly from one extreme to the other of the scale. One of my favorite example is going back to the top. It's communication, as in communicating information. There is low context, there is high context. In the context of cultures and countries, the thinking, the research is about if you come from a country. By the way, I'm not necessarily talking about birthplace. I'm talking more about whatever had the most influence to you. But yeah, if you come from a country that has low context, that would be like America, like the whole of the US or the UK. So places that are generally multicultural, places where the people have changed over time, they mixed a lot, so there isn't that much in common. There isn't that much history together. People that come from places like that are normally used to be more explicit in their way of communicating. They will give a lot of details. They will ask a lot of questions. They will send you bullet points after your meeting to remind you what the actions were, etc., etc., etc. Then you take the opposite and you take someone from a high context country or culture, and that's someone like Italy, the Mediterranean, Japan, China, places that have a very strong history and have learned to understand each other's body language, hints, reading between the lines. The science behind this is quite fascinating. I found out that French has like 70,000 words compared to the UK, which has like 500,000. So they even use less words because they don't need as many to communicate with each other. So now you take that person, and that's a person that will absorb what you tell them, will say, cool, and then disappear. You put these two people in a room together. The person from the low context country will be like, awesome, so this is what we're going to do exactly. Okay, cool, you got it? Yes. Okay, but you got it, right? Like, I can expect, like, there will be updates. Sure. That's a minefield of anxiety for the explicit person. From the implicit person, they're probably going to feel really patronized. Like, yes, I got it. I told you. I got it. Stop repeating that. But one thing that they definitely have in common is that in that situation, they're all thinking the same thing about each other. What a dick. I don't like them. I don't wanna. Take me out of here. And that's because, again, as humans, we are protagonists of our own story. We have this tendency to think that other people's behaviors are related to us. They're doing something to us. And they could choose any other behavior, but they're choosing that one specifically for us, and maybe specifically to annoy us. That depends on like what your mood of the day is. This is the crucial point. By default, we don't give a lot of benefit of the doubt. We like to think we do. We try to do it, like depending on where you are on the awakened scale, or whatever you want to call it, which we really try, but it's just not instinctive. The way we improve this is, well, tools like this, obviously, because It's a lot of fun. Also, if you try to map yourself, you're going to like break your brain. I'm originally from Italy and now moved to the UK. I have no idea where I sit on that scale. I'm also autistic, so I sit in another part. Like it's fantastic, but also it doesn't truly matter, because all it matters is where am I in relation to the person I'm speaking to in that moment. So are they being purposefully not clear because they're hiding something, or are they used to more implicit conversation? Which doesn't mean that I have to be okay with that, by the way. It just means they're not doing it to hurt me. I can very much say, hey, just FYI, could you elaborate a little bit, please? Because I like to dig into details. Like there is a matter of boundaries here, of understanding what you need from the other person, do a little bit of education. In an ideal world, obviously, there is also the burden of education. You know what? I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, it's about trying to rewire our brains a little bit. And most of all, yeah, assumptions are the enemy of learning, growth, collaboration. And it's not so just like that. It's very simple. I don't have that much more to say. This is my pitch. I'm a designer, and that means I'm also part researcher. When I go out to do some UX research, I have to get into that mindset where I need to erase my biases. I need to take every customer as an individual that I want to learn from. I can't say, no, that they did that thing and that thing is stupid. I have to just be curious. And then I suddenly realized, hold on, all of the training that I did for that thing, if I actually apply it to the people around me, I probably have an easier life, and they probably do too. So, moral of the story, no judgment, no problems. Funnily enough, when I put that photo on LinkedIn, I didn't get that many likes. So that's it. That's my little pearl of wisdom. Thank you very much. A little bit more bunny. It's been a pleasure. I have no idea how much time I made.